For more information on my programs, please visit masajady.com. That's MASSAJADY.com. So this is part of the free services that we provide, to help kids or people who are in need and so on like that. And then this public program, it's support for children for higher brain function and development. Okay, so that doesn't mean that your children has to be, say, distorted or whatever to, say, benefit from this. Even if you want to call your child, say, normal, okay, there's always, say, room for improvement on there. So whether your child, has ADD, ADHD, and there are podcasts that I do about that. There are group healings or meta healings that I do on that. So you can go to masajady.com and look at it. And I'm sorry that I'm not in London. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in as I scan the group and see what we need. Whether you're new with me or not doesn't really matter. And the way this works is I guide you into a deep state of meditation, and then I'll work on you on several different layers. Okay, I'll explain more about that. And if you have a child that's not with you, that you want me to work on through you, go ahead and think of them. And even if it's not your child, whether it's your nephew, somebody's your friends, whoever it might be, you can think about them, imagine them, say, next to you, meditating with you. So it'll take just a moment or two for that. Breath in again, nice and strong. Just 1 second, guys. This will be. Hey, you got to leave the room now, okay, buddy? Can you close the door a little bit? And then come back in a little bit. I'll be right there. Okay? Thanks, sweetie. Hey, guys. You guys got to go. Oh. Say hi. Okay, you guys got to go now. Okay. For those online, it's God, kids. All right. All right. I'll see you in a little bit. I love you too, honey. I'll see you in a little bit. We'll make banana bread. All right? Yep. Shh. But you guys got to be quiet. Okay, go. Alrighty, guys. Sorry about that. All right. So, yeah. Where were we? Well, I'm glad it was in the beginning. So let's go ahead and take a nice, strong, deep breath in again. Okay. And kind of reset ourselves. And then a nice strong breath in again, whether you're new or not. Just noticing the space around you, if you're at the expo, noticing the sounds around you. If you're not at the expo, again, noticing the sounds around you. And noticing the sound, the different layers of sounds, right? Sounds far away, sounds closer up for you. Sounds coming from my side, your side. Strong breath in again. Start connecting to the group. There's lots of people online. And we're all here for the same purpose. Right, that purpose, that strength in numbers will allow us to go further, faster, help our kids much easier, faster. And then a strong breath in again as I continue to work on you as you settle into your space by noticing, say, your lower spine, your mid-spine. Asking ourselves, how do I connect to pure source even stronger? And again, that question, how do I connect to pure source even stronger? And then just settling in. So the way I work on you, got a lot of new people. The way I work on you is I guide you into the deep state, and then I work out your source code, okay, or how your blueprint is created of your life. Okay? Most of us on this group think that, well, things just kind of happen for us, so to speak. Or we have control. But it's really the underlying programs that, say, control us or dictate how our lives turn out. Same thing with your kids. Okay, a lot of, say, your kid issues, whether they have problems or not, okay, stem from, say, your DNA. Just like we get hereditary issues, right? Or, the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, your skin tone, so on. Right? And then maybe heart problems if your family has heart problems. Same thing here. If you have, say, spiritual issues, that gets, say, cast into your child. So as I help you eliminate it from your kids, it'll help eliminate it from you as well if you haven't released those yet through adulthood. Most people don't, unless they've worked with me. And then I'll work on you as a group. I'm working on you, again, bringing in, say, a higher understanding or higher brain functioning, let's say. That's an overall theme. And then say the causes. Say that your child, or you, needs to get to a higher brain function. Okay? But there's, say for example, your child is, say, time distorted. So he's never here. He's always, say, preoccupied, or he is always, say, distracted. Why is that? The sad thing about, say, this group, so these are subgroups within this main group. So getting rid of, say, this subgroup's block about, say, time distortion. And literally, I see it from a very different perspective than, say, most parents. Unfortunately, this is where people start to put their kids on, medications to bring them back here in reality. And those medications get worse and worse. And then they grow into adult and they need more and more and more severe, medications to stay here. But in reality, the way I see it is that, well, they have really nice abilities, but their abilities distort them. So your child is, say, intuitive, And the way they become intuitive, or the way they are intuitive, is that they get to, say, pull away from where they need to be spiritually from their physical form and kind of go into, say, realities that are closely knit around the reality that you see or that we see here. And then that's why they don't feel like they're here, or they don't feel like they connect to other people, or they don't feel like they're of this world, so to speak. Okay? So work on that group. I'm not going to mention, say, all the subgroups because there's, say, a lot, because there's a lot of people and a lot of kids that you guys are thinking about. Let's talk about, say, diet. It's really important for kids, especially here in the U.S. A lot of our kids, because of, the decisions that the government made back in the early 70s, where they proposed fat is the cause of a lot of our health issues. So we started moving away from fat and going into, like starches, carbs, sugars. That's where everything, that you see non-fat, that's not the cause. The reason why I bring this up is because the kids that have, say, issues, the mothers, and even perhaps, say, your mother, didn't eat the proper nutrition. So now the kids, as they've grown up, their brain functions, kind of, say, stunted because they didn't get the nutrition to grow. Their brains didn't. Your child, as a baby, and even into like up to 6-7 years old, needs, and older, but especially those times, pivotal moments where there's a ton of fat needed for brain development. I'm not going to get into the details, but that cholesterol that we think is bad is key, because your brain, your nervous system, tissues, the building blocks of those is cholesterol. Okay? So the culprit on what scientists got mixed up is that the sugars destroy how that cholesterol gets formed. So again, moving your kids into a fat-based diet, even now, especially if your kids are younger, they have a chance. Especially like early teens, they really have a chance to, say, rebuild their brain, because their brain is still growing till, I think, I want to say like 20 or so. It's still like a growth brain. And then we get into adulthood, mid-20s, and then, the brain function starts to, say, decrease. So if your child is under, say, 20, let's just say, feeding them a lot of fats, moving away from sugars, carbs, fruits, will help, say, rebuild, especially with what we're doing here today. Okay? And I'm not a nutritionalist, I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what I see in the tens of thousands of people I work on. And then so you can do your own research on fat and brain development. And then higher brain function as well. And this is probably a subgroup that a lot of parents will probably not, say, like me for, is that, your brain needs exercise to, develop to a higher level, right? So that means that how do we get exercise, or how do we strengthen? Right? As far as, like, say, building muscle, right, in the physical realm, or getting stronger, there has to be, say, resistance against it. Resistance against the muscle. In extreme cases, say bodybuilding. Right? That's how they get, say, the bigger muscles. Same thing happens in brain growth or brain development. Exact same thing happens, guys. There has to be resistance. So there has to be, say, problem-solving skills. There has to be, say, solution-oriented tasks. There has to be situations where, say, the child has to figure things out themselves, right? And sadly to say, what happens is that in this subgroup, the parents or whoever takes care of that child has smothered the hell out of that kid. and well, they do everything for them. They provide everything for them. Their brain doesn't function. And I hate to say it, kids like this, they grow older, and then you go, well, what the hell's wrong with my child? They can't do anything for themselves. Well, what do you expect? So again, working on that pattern to break that hold that parents have on their child, as far as say smothering them, and smothering them comes from a different perspective, but it's the same thing. There's one smothering is where you just love them too much. You're so careful with them because your life was, say, so destructive. You've done the opposite for your child. So that's a sense of smothering, where you take care of them, again, where you don't want them to see them hurt. But again, that's not the growth space. And then the other smothering is, well, the opposite of it. Same coin, different sides. The opposite, where you smother them by disciplining the hell out of them. Okay? Or being abusive to them to control them. Again, just a different form of smothering. Okay? Again, both forms, not good at all. And then there's parents. Again, I see that child kind of checked out from life. Well, because the parents aren't there. Parents are checked out. They're too busy for their kids. The kids don't feel, say, that self-worth, self-respect because, well, look, my parents aren't even paying attention to me. They've got too much work, and they feel, say, useless or helpless. Well, that doesn't help, say, brain function either, right? Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in again. And again, I could go on and on and on with, say, subgroups, but we don't have to. But I just want you to get, say, the gist of the main themes that I'm seeing. Some of your family members, there's another subgroup, very intuitive. And again, that intuition costs your child because intuition, if you're not training your child on it, that power that comes into your child so strong that they don't understand what to do with that power tool that they have. It's kind of like, putting your child and telling them to hold on to this fire hose. Again, it'll blow them all around, and that's where they get distorted, right? So whatever it might be, even if some of the examples that I gave probably resonates with most people because those are the bigger, say, subgroups. But if your child is in this scenario that wasn't in a subgroup, I'm sure they are, though. But maybe a few here and there. It'll still work on you because I'm not the one that heals you. I just help awaken your child. I help awaken you into your own, say, healing abilities or transformational abilities. Okay. Just noticing how you're feeling. Some of you might be thinking, I wish I was, or I wish my child was actually here. This is being recorded for you. You can download the recording, play it in the background as your child does their homework or video games or whatever. And you'll see transformation in your child. As no children who play video games too much, again, not in this realm, so they would fall in that first subcategory that I talked about, right? Not being connected in this time frame. Another group, bigger group that kind of pops up is children who are abusive to, say, their parents or siblings, or and then we'll talk about bullies and being bullied. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And then notice your spine. From the lower half of your spine, right in through, say, the top. Yeah, the top of the spine. So where your spine meets your skull. So the other subgroups that I see is again abusive type children. Okay. Now there's lots of causes for, say, that abuse. But unknowingly, and this is a major subgroup within that group, is that kids who are, say, abusive or start to get abusive, sometimes, again, there's different reasons. Sometimes they get overtaken by, for example, you move into a house, and this has actually happened, so I'm just relaying this story. You move into a house where a child has died. That child takes over your child, basically just steps in. Okay? And then you see a change of personality within a short period of time. So, right? Or if you see changes of personality, like your child becomes somebody else, that's what usually happens. They have, say, imaginary friends, so to speak, that aren't imaginary. And then there's another big group again, because in your family history, what you tend to do is like you burden your child with your issues. So just the way, say, and this resonates for those people who will resonate to this story, say that your parents burdened you with their problems and issues, and then you took on, your parents' issues and problems, and then you run your life that way. So unknowingly, you do that to your child. So your child gets abrasive towards you because your child is aware enough that they don't want that. They don't want that stuff that you have. Okay, those patterns that you have. They just don't want it. Again, and these are kids that are, say, like intelligent. They're aware of their surroundings, right? They're in tune. They can pick up on other people's issues and they go, Mom, this person is like so and so, or I wouldn't trust them, or I don't like them for X reason. So those type of kids that you have, right? They become, say, aggressive or abrasive. That's again, that's the cause. Okay, so if that story resonates with you, they're just trying to protect their space for you. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in again, noticing your spine from top to bottom as I continue to work on you. And then, there's bullies and being bullied. Right? Again, all these are scenarios of why, or reasons why we can't, say, have higher brain function. Strong breath in again, nice and deep. As we go deeper yet, just noticing your breath. Continue to work on you. Let's get into say the second half. Okay. So the second half of higher brain function is, say, bringing in frequencies of, say, kids or even adults who have higher brain function. Okay. So copying those patterns, because we don't have to, say, recreate or create those patterns. It's a lot easier because somebody's already, say, created that path for us, right? It's easier to find our way because somebody's already walked that path of higher brain function. So let's see if we can bring that in, no matter, say, what level you are or your kids are. So as, say, the causes or issues start to, say, move out of why you can't, say, access the higher brain functions, giving you tools as you access it to, say, perpetuate you higher, faster. Strong breath in, nice and deep. As we take a deep breath in, again, the second half, downloading tools for you. For higher brain function or for your kids. And as part of that, obviously what we talked about before, releasing that, and also, again, you'll get attracted to the foods, supplements, people, places, whatever it is that, say, you need to open up to higher brain functions. And then you also start to, say, remove yourself, of the foods, supplements, people, places, things, whatever, remedies that haven't worked out for you. Okay? To get you, say, physically in tune, as I get you, say, spiritually in tune, or create that strong foundation for you. Wonderful breath in. So these tools that I talk about, again, just different, say, levels of awareness that we are. Some of us, or most of us, think higher brain function is more, say, absorbing, more physical knowledge. I guess that's part of it, but how we process or how we absorb the physical knowledge, because there's a lot of, say, intelligent or smart kids, so to speak. They can ace tests and so on, but in real life they don't know how to apply that knowledge. Right? So not so helpful. This is a blend of time-bound knowledge, right? Like stuff that we read, stuff that we see. Again, from the physical aspect, it's time-bound, so it gets dated. And then And then going into, say, I don't want to say genius level, because we're not at this level, this program, maybe future programs, we can, say, cover that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 different levels. Let me just describe the top level. It's pretty hard to describe the levels below. Okay? And then you'll get to see the different layers. Okay? So the top level, okay, level 4, is, again, like a genius level. And by genius, usually when people are a genius, they're out of sorts with society. Let's say, they're great, say, creators, but social norms not there, right? Or they don't get along well, or they have this ego, the crazy inventor scenario, right? And then we associate that with genius level because, well, that's how we see it. That's how we see most of the geniuses are really intelligent people. And by intelligence, I'm talking about spiritually intelligent. Okay? Say not a doctor or professor, and again, nothing against doctors or anybody in those higher fields, let's say, with time-bound intelligence, okay? Which are wrapped up in their ego. That's not the, say, level of higher awareness that we're looking for. This is a pure thread, which will help you become, say, a successful doctor, lawyer, scientist, whatever it is, in those higher intellects. But you don't get, say, define your identity around, say, what you know. Okay, so that's the difference. So the 4th level genius that I'm talking about is, say, a genius that is aware of who they are. Okay, and they look down or look around in their physical realm, and they can be able to, say, manipulate it or transform it for the benefit of mankind and, well, obviously themselves. As a note, you think that's like far off or something into the future, and it's not. The kids who, or the parents who've worked out now, they're having, say, kids, more and more of their kids. From what I'm seeing, even at like 1 or 2 or 3, you hear these parents go, my kid is so aware. They dominate, even at, a month old or, whatever. They dominate, say, their reality. Okay? So what that means is that they aren't burdened by what we did the first half. They realize that that's not them, right? And they don't want it, so they won't pass on hereditary traits. And what's more is those children, even at a month old, 2 months old, they're so brilliant. Say I walk into your space and you just hang out with me. It forces you to change, whether I say anything to you or not. By just hanging out with me. Those kids are identical. That's what they do. They are so brilliant. They force, say, the parents, siblings, or whoever, to shift, to let go of the garbage that they come with. So again, it's happening already. It can happen to those kids that are already, in their older. This is great for babies, by the way. It's a lot easier to disconnect from the family paradigm, the distortions and so on that comes with the family. And as I say that, there's a subgroup that we need to work on, and that group is parents holding their children back because they messed up their life. They're not going to want to see their kids succeed because then they even look worse off. I know it sounds distorted, but I mean, not any more distorted than parents who abuse their kids and whatever, or threaten their kids, or sexually assault their kids, and so on. Right? Same. So this is really the pre-meditation for, say, higher understanding. We really didn't get into, again, even the first level. So, and that's it's just that most of this group, say, isn't quite ready to even, say, jump into that first level. A few of you are. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. So that genius level, that fourth level, let's say, or fifth level, depending on how you look at it. So now you can just say break it down, to level 3, level 2, level 1, and then, well, the beginner level, the intro level that we're at, or most of us are at. So even at this level, bringing those tools that I talked about, or understanding it, hopefully you'll see, say, amazing, say, changes in your child, even as they just, say, merely awaken to the potential of who they are, right, to step into level 1. But we have to have that precursor. Mm-hmm. There we go. Wonderful breath in again. Oh. Mm. Beautiful breath in, nice and deep. And what we'll do is pull you forward or help you ascend higher into, say, that genius level brain function, right? So you can understand or see the path, no matter what level you're on. As a note, kids with like ADD, ADHD, stuff like that, or autistic children, again, this will be a benefit for them as well. Those are some of the subgroups I didn't say mention, but work on. As a whole, as we say, step into, say, a genius level. This is where, scientists say we only use, say, 10% of our brain capacity. Well, genius level obviously uses more, and the definition of genius is, seeing your reality from a different perspective than what most people see. So although it's the same environment, obviously they see a different perspective of it. And that's where they get the brilliant ideas, or that's where they become a genius. So it's about removing those layers that keep us distorted. One, obviously what we're working on today in this intro or pre-level course is becoming aware of, say, the distortions that have, say, kept us down. Right? So we'll count up to 36. And with each level, going through, with each count, going higher and higher, passing through the different levels, and then you'll get to sense it for yourself, say the different definite or descriptive levels that we have. So you get into, say, genius level, and this is spiritual genius, okay? And not the distorted type genius that we see most of the time. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we slow down time. 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, there we go, 16, 17, and pulling up higher and higher, 18, 19, higher yet, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26, 20 up higher, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, higher yet, 33, 34, 35, 36. And again, for those who can go higher, just go ahead and do so. But if you've noticed overall, there's a lighter feeling, more controlled feeling, controlled of your environment, right? Rather than being controlled by your environment or people, situations. You kind of like overshadow. Right? So again, more in control of your environment, the people, the places, in a positive way, obviously, in a win-win-win process. Some of you might feel really, really expansive, almost to the point that it kind of gets uncomfortable for you. And again, the reason for that is because at the level that you're at compared to where this is. That's why. It's a big gap in between. Doesn't mean that you can't get here, because you're here already. Just means that you can't stay at this level for a long time before getting distorted. So, strong breath in as we come to an end. Now we'll just count down from, say, 10 to 0, depending on whatever. And you can hang out at whatever level is, say, suits you more. That way, if you hang out at a higher level than where you started, obviously, you let go of the baggage or the burdens, that self-image that holds you back till you get to that level. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Again, whatever level that you might feel comfortable with. Levels 1 through 4, or just where you were, that's fine too. Maybe a higher version of it. And noticing the sounds around you, noticing the space around you, noticing your body within your environment. Opening your eyes. Ow. Sorry, I have to stretch out a little bit. Feeling relaxed or refreshed. Again, for those people who aren't at the expo, you can hang on if you'd like. What? Thanks for being on a call, guys. You can go ahead and, you can donate this to, say, schools, or if you work with children, right, who have, say, learning disabilities or issues, you can play it in the background if you'd like. You can do that. It's a free meta healing for you, so you can give it away, offer it to schools, so on. All right, guys. Thanks for being on the call. I'm going to go ahead and drop you all.
For more information on my programs, please visit masajady.com. That's MASSAJADY.com. Or join us on Facebook for more information. We do a lot of Facebook Live.